Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. Gunther again, talking about realistic fiction. And today we're going to talk about characters. And in a realistic fiction story, one that we've read or one that we're writing, we need characters to be real. And we talked about having real feelings. And so today we're going to talk about some traits of characters, and then you get to design and come up with your own character for your story. So today we have internal traits and external traits. Internal traits of characters are traits that we infer when we're reading what we've written or what an author's written about the character. So they're the way how they're feeling inside. Maybe if they're feeling angry, that could be an internal characteristic. And from their dialogue and their actions, that's how the reader can figure out that internally this character is angry. Another one would be, you could be jealous. If you reread Freckle Juice. Freckle Juice is a realistic fiction story, and the little boy was jealous because he wanted freckles just like his friend. And we knew he was jealous because he was wanting to get a recipe so bad to get freckles. And so some of the things he said and the actions he did showed us that his internal, everything inside of us, is some of those traits. So that's why we knew he was jealous. So we could be angry, could be jealous, could be nervous, outgoing. I would say our little Miss Lillian is very outgoing. She's not very shy. She was out there dancing it up to the on the assembly that one day, and not everybody would do that. But we saw her internal characteristic of being outgoing during that assembly. This is the joy of working from home. All right, another internal characteristic. Can you think of one? Maybe silly, a jokester. Somebody that's passionate about something. Curious. Think about Curious George. Now, he is not a realistic character, but he was very curious. And as a character, we could have a very curious character in our story. Passionate, loving. If you think of Edward and Edward Tulane, and think about some of Edward's internal traits, he really first was selfish, wasn't he? That's an internal trait, being selfish. But as his journey went on, Edward ended up being more loving and caring about others, right? So that is also a character, not a realistic character, right? But Edward was a character, and he showed an internal characteristic of selfish, and then he became loving. So, and now if you think of external traits, those are traits on the outside. So if you were talking about a character that looked like Mrs. Gunther, you would say, I have blue eyes and brownish blonde hair. It depends when my hair is done. Today it's a little bit more brown than blonde. You would say I'm short. Most of you are almost as tall as I am. And I have some freckles. If we were talking about a character like Delaney, we would say she has freckles and she has red hair. And if you were talking about a character like, I'm trying to think of, we could go back to Edward again, who's not realistic, but Edward had ears and he wore a silk suit and he was a China rabbit. So those are all things that describe them. So as you're thinking about external traits, you're going to want to know their age, your character's age, their eye color. They have long hair or short hair. If they're tall or if they're short. Trying to think of some other things. what kind of clothes they wear. So if your character was kind of a tomboy, you might want to describe her as wearing sweats and sweatshirts most of the time. If you have a character that likes to dress up as princesses, you're going to say that she is constantly wearing dresses and does her hair all fancy with curls, and you would describe it that way. So this is the picture of what your character looks like on the outside. The internal traits are who they are on the inside and the feelings and the emotions that come along with it. So I'm also going to put clothing. You could describe quite a few things in great depth so the person can really visualize your character. So today, if I'm going to make a character profile, you're going to have the same exact sheet. And it says, this is what my character looks like. So you're going to get to draw your character. If my character has the name, I'm trying to think of a name. I'm going to name my character Penelope. Why, you ask? Because my Uncle Greg always called me Penelope, and I loved it. So I'm going to write Penelope. Penelope is a girl. I'm going to say Penelope was about 12 years old. She had blondish brown hair, blue eyes, and was short. The clothes, she just wore everyday clothes. Jeans and a shirt, sweatshirt, hair in a ponytail. Jeans and a sweatshirt. I could say an oversized sweatshirt. She always had scrunchies around her wrist. Those are things that are Penelope's external characteristics. Now I'm going to talk about Penelope's internal characteristics. So some character traits. She's definitely loving. She is jealous at times. She can be jealous. Not always. She is passionate about whatever she puts her mind to. And she shows perseverance. I don't know if that's necessary. I would say that's a trait. Perseverance. Now it says some hobbies. What are some hobbies that Penelope likes? Penelope likes to snowboard. She loves to craft with her friends. She's quite the artist. She loves to draw and be outdoors. Only when it's warm. Though she likes to snowboard, so that doesn't make sense. I guess she's warm when she snowboards because it's so hard. What does she like? She likes the sunshine. She likes playing with friends. And she likes school. Her dislikes, she does not like feet. She does not like losing. Doesn't like losing or feeling like she's failed. Like she's not good at something. Okay, so that is my picture or profile of my character Penelope. And I think she's going to be the main character in my realistic fiction too. So I'm going to draw later what Penelope looks like using her external characteristics. And I cannot wait to hear about your character profiles and what they're like on the inside and what they're like on the outside.